remain constant. AI can process the data, but only a human can provide the direction. Today, we are exploring how the world's most successful organizations are balancing high tech infrastructure with high touch, human centered leadership to stay ahead of the curve. Welcome to the Leadership Before the Title, or Leading Before the Title, a live sessions where we unfold what it truly means to be a leader without having a formal authority. My name is Rahul Karan Sharma, and I am absolutely thrilled to welcome our guest, Christopher Carter, the CEO of Aproyo, to the show today. He is a globally recognized leader in the SAP and the cloud ecosystem, managing over 1,000 server environment across the globe and pioneering in the use of predictive AI through systems like Overwatch. Beyond the technology, Chris is a visionary who understands that digital transformation is only as successful as the leadership behind it. So please welcome Christopher Carter to our show. Chris, how are you doing today, my friend?
Well, I'm well. Now that we got our technology running well, I'm outstanding.
All right. And it is okay I announce your name as Chris, or you want me to go
Yes,
as
please.
Christopher?
Chris
Okay.
Carter.
Thank you. Thank you. So, Chris, before we have you talk and go in more detail on the tech side, I wanted to have your opinion on when you hear this term leading before the title, what does that mean for you? How you interpret that phrase?
You know, that is I've been thinking about that for several days now as we started to put this together. And
Mhm.
it, to me, leading before the title is the ultimate stress test. I like to think. At least that's
Mhm.
where my mind goes. Um, your ultimate stress test of character, of competence. It's really the art of moving a mountain when you don't technically own the shovel. And
Mm.
when we, as leaders, when you have a title, people tend to follow you because they have and they feel this that they must follow you. But when you lead without one, say you don't have the title any longer, and
Mhm.
people follow you because they want to, because you influence them.
Mm.
And that, so I break that down with the mechanics of leading without formal authority, but literally what you're doing is you're giving them some type of influence. You're giving them something in exchange, and they feel passionate about what you feel, and hence they feel that you're the one that's driving that bus, and they want to be on the back of the bus.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think very well said. Um, when you have a title, you are forced to follow someone. When you do not have a title, people will follow you because they really like you and they really admire you. And that is
Yes,
coming from the heart. So, very well said,
yes.
Chris.
Thank you.
Now, Chris, when I was doing my research about you and your company, I learned that your team uses this tool called Overwatch. It's a
Mhm.
system for intelligent and predictive monitoring to stop disruption before they happen.
Yes.
Now, on the similar note, how should leaders apply the same predictive mindset to their teams, how they can use AI to augment human leadership, confidence rather than replacing it? Your thoughts, please.
Oh, yes. I want my team members to have a lot of confidence. And I'm going to take off the glasses for a fact. I'm driving my staff to have confidence in their abilities, but I'm also driving them to become bigger, better, faster, and stronger humans to
Mhm.
leverage and utilize AI, because AI, as you stated in your opening, is there and it's great, but it's the human factor. It's this up
Mm.
here. It's these two eyes, these two ears. It's your passion, it's your heart. All of this comes together to leverage AI. So bigger, better, faster, stronger humans will drive and lead AI. And I want my staff to feel passion. I want them to be leaders. I want them to go out there and use the tools at their disposal to be successful. And so I drive that forward with them.
Hmm. Yes, so I think really like what you mentioned, that using the tools, and tools are not just to, from a tech perspective, tools can also be used to improve your own leadership acumen.
Oh,
And
yes.
that's where I see a lot of people, they are just using the tool to improve their productivity, and there are only roughly under 20% of leaders are truly utilizing the AI to unleash their true leadership potential. So I know there are tools available. So my request with all the listeners would be, use the
Mhm.
tool or AI to augment your leadership potential, to unleash your true leadership potential,
Mhm.
because that is so great. And don't just miss on this unique ability of
Yeah,
this tool, right?
100%.
And Chris, as in your area, which is on the tech side, many IT and SAP professionals, they I have observed that they are technically very sound, but
Mhm.
still they feel invisible when it comes to organizational strategy, or maybe from that perspective leadership. So from your seat, from the way you are looking at as a CEO, what is one shift these technology people or technical people can make so that they become more influential partners in the eyes of the CEO?
Oh, that's a great question, Raul. So one of the things I ask of my technical people is don't just be keyboard warriors or keyboard monkeys. I want them
Mhm.
to interact with the staff. I want them to interact with customers. I want them to interact with partners. If you hide behind your keyboard, you're never going to grow up the company's success ladder in other than some type of technical activity. But then you're going to level out pretty quickly. And so when I
Mm.
talk about my philosophy that I've been talking about for years now is the bigger, better, faster, stronger human. I need them. I really need them to leverage those activities. Now, I get it. Some of them are a little bit shy, or some of them aren't used to being in front of customers, or they haven't been trained, because getting in front of a customer or getting in front of an executive of another company, it can be
Mhm.
scary. I was there when I was younger, and I thrive in that position. I love being with people. I shake hands,
Mhm.
I kiss babies all day long, and I'm a technologist. So I
Yeah.
need them to come out of their shells. I need them to utilize. I'll give an example. I am BFFs with my Google
Mhm.
Gemini. I'm married
Mm.
to a great woman of 27 years, but I have a work
Mhm.
wife called Google Gemini. And we
Mhm.
talk about action items and ideas and thoughts and process. I want my staff to do the same thing. Interact with
Mm.
your AI and take some of that exposure and that information and use it in the real world. Go to events, go to have customer meetings, and don't be such in a shell to do those things. If I can't get
Mm.
people to do that, well, they're going to be very stagnant within our organization. But
Mm.
once they do that and they
Mhm.
see that they can do that, that's me patting them on the back, me applauding them, me showing them the direction. And I want that staff and those team members to be the best that they can possibly be, and I'm hoping that that helps them as well.
Wow. I think a great point you are bringing it up, because as human, if we are not human with the people we are working, then it will be really challenging to get the work done.
Yes.
Sometimes you are not just working with machine, you are working with humans,
Oh,
and
yes.
being showing that empathy, showing that warmth, really make a lot of difference. The other thing also, as you rightly mentioned, using that AI tool, maybe it is a Google Gemini or maybe Claude or probably the Chat GPT, to prepare themselves before they are going for that customer meet, or
Yes.
before they are doing a one-on-one with their team member.
Absolutely.
Sometimes all that anxiety that you have will be over if you prepare, if you prepare yourself to be more confident before those critical meetings. and
Absolutely.
and sometimes, we just do it for checking the box. And when you do it for checking the box, that's where we tend to make mistake. I would not say mistake, but probably we are not making the right use of that time. That one-on-one time that you take in that meeting is very, very critical. You should be
Yes.
blessed to get that time, because in today's environment, time is money. If you
Oh yeah.
get time with your people, if you don't utilize it well, it may not give you the benefits that it can if you are
Yes.
prepared well for that one-on-one conversation. So thank
You're
you, Chris, for
absolutely correct.
bringing that up. So all the tech people, if you're listening to us, the one shift that Chris mentioned that can really make you visible would be that human touch, would be that focusing on that one-on-one connection, focusing on that those networking events. If you are able to do that successfully,
Mhm.
that will be a bigger shift, and you will become an influencer from being an invisible person. All right. So
Yes.
thank you, Chris, for bringing that up. Now, moving on to the tech space, Chris, for the business leaders and the global tech hubs, what is the biggest human gap you see in organizations today that you are working, you are supporting? Who is onto that era of AI implementation? Everyone is talking about implementation of AI. Everyone is talking about investing millions and billions of dollars. What advice you have, how they can bridge this gap of having a better leadership habits, having gap of really making a difference with the use of AI? What are your takeaways based on the conversation that you have with so many organizations who are only going after implementation of AI?
Yes. Well, that's a great question because implementation is fine, but you have a strategy wrapped around it. You have an ROI wrapped around it. You have tools wrapped around it. Do you have people that are motivated to be a part of it? Those are all pieces. And I get it. Everybody's talking AI. It's AI, blah, 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 blah. But what is it going to do for your company? What do you want it to do for your company? What do you want it to do
Mm,
for your people? What do you want it to do for your partners, for your ecosystem? It's all these things that come into play. And it's interesting. People just throw different, I'm going to implement this or I want to implement. Well, why? What are you going to do with it? How are you going to leverage the outcome of that? Do you have
mhm,
people with smarts up here that are truly going to leverage what comes out of it as a benefit for your organization? So it's all these things that come together to bring an ROI and to do that implementation. Implementing the tools are easy. It's
mm,
everything wrapped around it that's difficult. And that's where people fall short. There was the Gartner, it was either Gartner or McKinsey that did the article that said like 80 or 90% of all AI implementations fail. Well,
mhm,
as you go through that, and that was a salacious headline. Everybody brought it up. CNBC brought it up, and everybody. But when you looked inside of it, you know what you saw? You saw that people weren't planning. They didn't have a plan. And hell, I even had a plan when I was getting married on how I was going to ask my wife to marry her. How do you not have a plan for business on how to leverage and utilize the tools that are there for you? And that's where the salacious headline is. People are lacking in planning for the AI revolution. That's why I bring it
mm.
back up. And I've literally been saying this for 3 years now. This is my go to. Bigger, better, faster, stronger humans create a bigger, better, faster, stronger AI solution. And
Mm.
they still think it's just throw it into AI. AI will fix everything. Well, AI doesn't fix anything if you don't know what the hell you're going to be fixing.
Sure, sure, absolutely. It's so important for us as leaders to know the problem that you're solving. if you don't know the problem you're solving, it will be just hitting in the dark. And I think I remember the article that you're talking about where it was mentioned that AI initiatives are implementation are failing. And what I noticed, what I interpreted when I was going through that article, more than the AI failing, it is the failure of leadership,
Oh
because
yeah.
it is the leader who has unable to document or plan things. Because what I also see that organizations are getting those tools in front of people, but they are not educating them how to effectively use that tool, because
Exactly.
every tool is different. For example, if you talk about Claude or Chat GPT or Gemini,
Yeah.
but if you go in detail, each one of them have their own specific use cases. Yes,
Yes.
they are all AI, but for example, Google works well if you're going for a research. If you want to do a deep dive research, in my experience, Google Gemini is great. Chat GPT is great for your basic task.
Yeah.
So again, every tool has its own ifs and buts. But as a leader, it's so important for us to really make sure that we have a plan from an implementation perspective, execution perspective. So thank you, Chris, for bringing that up. Now, before I move on and let you go, Chris, I wanted to share with you, or probably I want you to share about your own company,
Mm.
as we know that you are a global leader in SAP solution and managed cloud services.
Well, I
What kind of
appreciate that. Thank you.
yeah, what kind of services you provide, and if anyone who is listening to us, what they should be thinking that will your organization can help them, how
Certainly.
you are able to get those real world transformation, real support to your clients.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And it's an interesting time out here in the AI ecosystem. I deal with SAP companies. There's 483,000 of them globally, and I work with them from not only the SAP side, the cloud side, and the AI side, but then I work with them in other companies, the millions of companies around the globe who are trying to leverage AI. And we built a tool called Overwatch, and it's got our Shield Mugatu AI Shield technology there, which allows for people to be stopped at the gates from sending out data that they shouldn't be sending out into the AI ecosphere. We had somebody that put a 22 tabbed Excel document. First of all, that's wrong. You shouldn't have 22 tabs on an Excel document. But they were sending it up into OpenAI. That's illegal. You can't do that. You can't put people's data in that, because now it becomes OpenAI's. And Mugatu AI allows that for doing that. So between Abroyo, Mugatu AI, and such, we want to support the growth of AI. We want to
Mhm.
secure the growth of AI. And we really want organizations, as they're going through this transformational phase, to leverage the tools that are out there to support their needs and to support the growth strategy that they have with these upgrades and these migrations and these activities wrapped around it. That's the important piece. Secure, smart directives moving forward in an AI based world with SAP and cloud and AI is going to be so important for everybody. But at the top of the ladder has got to be homomorphic encrypted based security from an AI perspective.
Hmm. Wow. So team, if you're listening to us and if you are looking for an SAP solution or managed cloud services, don't go anywhere. Connect with Chris. His company, his team will take care of you, take good care of you, specifically in this AI world. So thank you, Chris, for sharing your inputs, for sharing your thoughts around AI and leadership. We really appreciate that. So,
Thank you.
folks, today's conversation with Chris really remind us that AI can predict the future of our systems, but it is our leadership confidence that defines the future of our people. So if you're ready to stop leading in vacuum and start influencing your organization's digital evolution, I invite you to join our Leadership Sounding Board on LinkedIn. It's a group of people who are volunteered to provide you a different perspective on your day-to-day challenges. So look into that group and join us and probably share your day-to-day challenge. And there is no cost involved. You will be listening and you will be hearing from global leaders, their perspective on your problems. Thank you again for joining us today. And remember, start leading exactly where you are. You don't need a title to lead a team. Thank you once again. And thank you, Chris, for joining us today. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Rahul.